For this year, there's quite a number of exciting issues that we'd like to communicate to the South African public. The first one is around the curriculum. So we say we have strengthened the national curriculum statement through the development of CAPS, and members of the media will remember it's been a long way to be where we are. We first had a review committee in 2009 of CAPS, which made the recommendations, and we used 2010 to prepare for the rolling out of CAPS. And I'm quite excited that next year, 2014, we're having our final rollout of CAPS with the FET phase coming in, which I believe puts firmly behind us OBE and all the difficulties that the sector had experienced around the curriculum. But having, I think, entrenched the curriculum, which is your basic curriculum, we're quite excited that now we're at a phase where we're looking at strengthening the very curriculum itself in other areas that we have not had paid attention to. The one, for instance, around ECD. We think as a country we've passed the stage where we're really looking at the number of kids accessing our ECD program. At our last CM, last week Thursday, we also, CM approved and adopted a new curriculum for the ECD sector, which really starts from even beyond the grade R, which is going to afford us a seamless curriculum in line with the NDP. That I thought was quite exciting, that we have reached a stage where now we're able to consolidate and strengthen the curriculum itself. The second area that excites me most as a minister is also our final stage around sign language. Because Section 6.4 of the South African School Act recognizes sign language for use in teaching and learning of deaf learners in public schools. In 2012, already we had 8,835 learners, deaf learners, in 116 public schools. And the majority of these learners were taking sign language and also taught through the medium of sign language. But there were different pockets of sign language curricula across different provinces with different dialects, thus lacking any standardization. But there were even more difficulties than just the fact that we didn't have standardization, the training of our teachers, the resource materials. So there were quite a number of issues that as a sector we had to address around issues of sign language. So a further complication was the fact that albeit sign language being recognized by SASA in 1996 as a language of learning and teaching, the government has not accorded sign language an official status like it has for other 11 official languages. So in 2012, the president called for South African sign language to be eventually declared an official language, which offers a glimmer of hope for deaf community and for offering sign language curriculum for grades R to 12 at home languages. It is within this context that I, as a minister, subsequently established a curriculum management team to coordinate the developments of the above-mentioned curriculum. So among the terms of reference that came was a clear definition of sign language and to determine which of the following sections, sorry, my apologies, such as oral, grammar, and literature applicable to sign language. I'm very excited that we had a very powerful task team. We met with them this morning, and they handed over the curriculum, which again we are going to start rolling in from 2015. So we're going to use 2014 to do all the necessary preparations, including teacher training, resource materials, and resourcing the very schools that are supposed to offer sign language. And I'm, as I say, very excited that it will be the first in the country that we have a standard sign language, and we will be able to ensure that we protect the rights of deaf kids, because our slogan in the department is that no child should be left behind. And for all these years, children with deaf impairments had really little chances of surviving or succeeding in our system. So for me, it's quite exciting to have reached this stage. And the fact that we are now quite confident that come 2015 we'll begin to roll out that part. The other exciting development also around the curriculum was the report that we received around technical schools, because it was one other area, because what we've been rolling out was just the basic curriculum. But there were areas in the curriculum which we felt needed also special attention. So the technical high school sector is under severe pressure to attract learners, for instance. And we are aware that the sector, because we've not been paying good attention and supporting it adequately, just between 2007 and 2013, we moved from 119,000 learners to 45,000 learners, which is quite disastrous for a country like ours, where skills for young people are very keen, but also technical skills for our economy are quite key. So again, here I have a list of the team that helped us to develop the curriculum. And so I'm quite pleased to announce again that upon the receipt of this draft curriculum for technical schools, as prepared by the task team, this will allow us specialization in each of the following subjects. So there are different working teams, and I'm very confident with the list. And would really love, like the South Africans, because we're taking it out for public comment, we're already working on recommendations that were made around by the technical team. And again, we're going to use 2014 to prepare for the implementation of our technical schools curriculum, which again, for me, it's very exciting development, because it then allows us to strengthen all the parts of the curriculum. As I said, for all the time, we're really focusing on just the general curriculum, and we're not looking at the specialization of the curriculum. So again, I think for me, this is a huge landmark in the history of our education. Again, what we did last week at CM, we looked at, because language issues in our schools are a major issue. Part of our underperformance is just the competency of our learners and our educators in the use of the language of learning, which is English in our country. So the present reality in South Africa is that the majority of learners at both school and tertiary levels use English as language of learning and teaching. And hand in hand with the increase in the use of African languages is a strategy to strengthen the teaching of English as a first additional language. Research is clear. Disciplined instruction in reading and writing enhances learners' achievement in all subjects and in the long term. So without strategies for reading subject matter and opportunities for writing thoughtfully about it, learners have difficulty in mastering concepts. For instance, the Peel 2011 and the South African assessments and the senior certificate results all speak to the negative impact of English competence on learners' performance and the need to improve the quality of English teaching and learning. And as a result, from 2012, all children attending to learn through the medium of English had begun instruction in this language from grade 1 level, which was not the case before. Most of the learners, especially in the township and black communities, were only introduced into English in their 3rd grade and were expected to use it as a language of learning in their 4th grade, and that really had negative impacts. So our department is also addressing the quality of English teaching. So in partnership with the British Council, it has developed a training program, the Certificate in Primary English Language Teaching, to support the implementation of English for first additional language. The other matter also, which I think is exciting in the sector, is that earlier this year, as a department, we received a report on the incremental introduction of African languages in schools. So the report recommended that as from 2014, all public schools should introduce African languages from grade R to grade 1. However, CM last week Thursday resolved to broadly support the proposal that provincial education departments would largely consider piloting the initiative in 2014, an option that provided for 10 schools per district, because we felt that we must have a smooth transition which really enables us to pick up lessons in terms of the resourcing, in terms of staffing, the training. But what is also, I think, heartening is the fact that the majority of our schools, even your Model C schools, do offer African languages. There are just weaknesses in terms of the support that they've been receiving from the department in the very teaching of African languages. And this pilot is to assist them to strengthen that which is already taking place in our schools and give some focused attention. But also at CM, we discussed ANA. So CM gave us a go-ahead for the publication of national policy and conduct the administration of management of the annual national assessment. This policy proposal will provide clarity on the administration of ANA, especially the setting of tests, the administration of tests, marking, and resulting in how feedback is provided to schools. In 2 weeks' time, it will be gazetted for public comment, and we will then consolidate the response. And again, I would really like to invite members of the media and the South African public, because we are going, especially the first reports, the one on sign language and the one on technical schools, we're going to put it on the website for public comment. So again, if people can visit our website, they will be able to access the documents. CM last week also discussed school readiness. We thought, because we normally look at school readiness third term, but we thought this time, at fourth term, so we thought we should look at it in the third term. So we did receive reports on the state of readiness for 2014 this year. It resolved that there is a compelling case around the educational and economic viability of small schools, that we really do think there is an issue around the viability of small schools. A 3-child school, 10-child schools is just not viable. And I know what it means. And the implications for their continued existence and the need for schools to rationalize in the process as part of the 2014 School Readiness Plan. We agreed as a Department of Basic Education to continue to closely monitor the nature of support required by the provincial education departments. It was, however, resolved that PEDs should submit their school, amongst others, their school furniture needs to the DBE by the 16th of August. Because what we also said at the CM is that provinces should strive to have a chair and a desk for every child. And they should do everything in their powers to make sure that we realize it. Because that's also another area of weakness that I think we've been constantly confronted with as a sector. But also, as part of addressing the shortage of teachers, we resolved that the timelines for the placement of Funza Lusaka graduates should be moved forward from December to November, because that's also been another area of weakness, that as much as we have teacher shortages, but provinces have just not been smart in placing the existing teachers in good time when schools reopened. We also discussed our preparations for the national senior certificates, because it's time that we are verifying and clearing everything else and just having the last push for our grade 12s. And then we're discussing the processes leading towards that. And the other matter that we resolved was the 2015 calendar, and was quite sympathetic to Chief from Limpopo, was saying he's going to discuss with us school holidays for initiation. We're already putting in cast iron 2015 school calendar. So we also have published the school calendar. But I thought also I should, now that I have the opportunity of having journalists with us, yes, to also say something about the matter of the Director General of DBE. That on the matter of the Director General, the process of appointing the retired judge has been done through the State Law Office, and the judge is ready to start anytime. So we'll hear from him when he really is going to start his hearings. And in conclusion, I must also say that I've taken note of comments by the Western Cape Premier Helen Zille and fully appreciate her understanding the challenges facing the sector and her continued effort in clarifying education matters. It's highly appreciated, and I think it's highest level of integrity in terms of intergovernmental relations. Thank you very much, Panyisa.